Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Magic Kings podcast with the great, big, beautiful dads. This is Steve, and I'm here with Mike. What's going on?
Hey, Steve. It's going.
It's going. What a time, huh?
It is. It's
summertime,
Summertime. Oh, man, the other day I was sitting in the heat and I was thinking, if I'm going to be up in the Northeast and it's this hot, why can't I just be back on Main Street, USA, watching the parade?
Oh my God. I couldn't agree more. Whenever it's like over 90 degrees here, I'll look at the weather app because obviously I have like Disney World's weather in the weather app. I'm like, is it hotter there?
That's right.
And here and there, it's actually hotter here. So,
So I have Walt Disney World.
There you go.
I've got Epcot. And then I've got just Orlando Pop. So I've got all the top hits.
Yeah, it's the middle of July and we're recording it. I saw 77 there right now. It's like 9:30 at night.
Epcot for the fireworks right now is 76 degrees.
Oh my God!
It's a beautiful night in
What's
Orlando,
wrong
Florida.
with us? My gosh! Well, we're going to be talking maybe sometime that one of us is heading down this summer.
Yes.
So we're gonna,
That's great.
see. We're gonna be talking about that maybe. But I kind of throwing you a goofball here, Mike.
All right.
On the topic, I didn't even tell you what it was beforehand. But before we get to that, there's something I have to address. That so I'm on TikTok. I don't know if you're aware of this app, Mike. This is a social media platform.
I don't do the MyFace or the Tikstagram. Yeah, I'm anti social media. So I'll get the clips here and there, but yeah, I'm not on the internet.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I've definitely gotten more into it since I've become a travel agent. And TikTok, I thought I was too old for it. My sister, Mary Kate, MK Reads 26, she's a big TikToker, and she told me I got to get on there. And
That's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun. I put some stuff out there, and it was over a month ago. I put out there one of our Lightning Lane round questions, which is what's in your My Disney Experience app? Who's your character? Mine is Goofy. Yours is Sorcerer Mickey, if I recall correctly. And I put it out there, and I said, if you answer, we'll shout you out on the podcast, the best answers. And this was over a month ago, and I forgot to shout people out. So I just want to do that here. I want to put out Jackpot JCKPT85 said Elsa because my heart is frozen and I karaoke Let It Go all the time. I love.
That's awesome.
It's got to be, it's got to be the right crowd for that, I think. But I like that one.
It's a little dark, but that's okay.
A little dark. And then I have Arlene, who is at the _Maleficent _Millenny. I assume short for millennial, and she said Maleficent. And I said, No one's going to leave you off the party invite list because, that's a good one. And there was the Evil Queen from Snow White was one. We had a Darth Vader. That was Christina was the Evil Queen. Darth Vader, Kelly. So there's a lot more, too. A lot of people wanted to share that. I think it's an interesting little window into how people, think about Disney. So I just wanted to shout people out.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I felt like my pick was like pretty basic, but I think it was one of the other guests, Andres or somebody that also has Sorcerer Mickey, which I was like, all right, we got a Sorcerer Mickey crew here, which I appreciate.
I think you and Andres, who unless I don't know something, you've never met.
I've never met.
You would get along because he loves Cosmic Rewind. He is Sorcerer Mickey guy, so. Yeah, we got to get the whole crew on all together one of these times.
We're gonna expense it to the podcast.
Exactly.
Get down.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have to get together in Disney. We can expense that.
Right.
I can write that off. Yeah. It's a write-off.
Yeah. You just write it off.
If you do want to follow me I'm on TikTok I have to look up my own. This is how old I am. I have to look up Steve _JustAddMagic, and I'm also on Instagram. Steve _JustAddMagicTravel. Travel. So I'm out there. So thanks everybody who's listening. And Mike, you got anything else before we want to dive in here?
No, although I am not on social media, I do get the clips, and you've done quite a good job with that. And I appreciate the people that are following along. It's nice to hear the feedback.
Yes, definitely. No, it's a lot of fun. I was never a big social media person, but now I'm kind of finding my little corner of it. It's a lot of fun. So, um, I think, Mike, you thought maybe we were talking about princesses tonight, and we're gonna get into that soon enough because you have your little Disney princess who's gonna
That's right.
within the next couple of years probably be pretty into that. So we need to prepare you. But I don't
Yep.
know.
I think I have a little bit of runway. She's,
Yeah,
she's still pretty
yeah.
young, but
We
I
got some
definitely
time.
want to. Yeah, it's good to get a head start on the info. Get the
You
lowdown.
you need a couple of years head start
That's
to
right.
really get in the mood. Yeah,
Yep.
but you got to be in the mood to talk about that tonight. I'm throwing you a goofball here, and I
All
have
right.
this
Let's do it.
idea for an episode of we talk a lot about our favorites at Disney World. And often what I hear is people talk about their favorites, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, my favorite ride is, the People Mover." Okay, I like the People Mover. Great, and that's a fine favorite ride. I think anyone's favorite is great. It's all so personal for them, and there's so many reasons why. But I always think about the person who might be coming here where maybe they have never been to Disney World, or maybe they haven't been in a super long time or don't remember it too well, and now they're thinking about it with their kids. And I wanted to take a little more of an objective view of the
Okay.
rides. And
Okay.
so what I did was I came up with some criteria for ranking the rides at Disney World, and I tried to rank them objectively, giving them each a score on this objective scale, not taking into account my preferences. And I will say some of my favorites did not make my top 10. So I think I just want to first go through the criteria, see what you think about it, see if maybe you
Okay.
disagree. If you do, I'll be
Okay.
offended. No, I'm kidding. Please, I'm interested to know what you think about it actually, and then go through what I think is the top 10 for me. So what do you think?
I love this. I'm a data guy, so like I feel like we're like stack ranking here, and we're doing some analysis that we could chart out. We could do some, we could get a good sample, get some people's feedback here, and maybe even revisit some of these rankings just to see how it plays out. But I'm excited to hear what you came up with.
Yes, thank you. No, I agree. It was interesting to go through this, and I didn't rank every single ride. I think I was focused on the top 10. So if I knew a
Okay,
ride,
got it.
didn't have a shot, I probably ranked like 40 rides, just anything I
Hmm.
thought might have a shot at the top 10. But I ranked rides and I ranked shows, including nighttime spectaculars, things like that.
Okay.
Um, so I thought about a few things. One is we talked about this in one of our episodes, maybe superlatives, about the 5 keys for cast members, which is like safety, courtesy, efficiency, show, um, and I'm forgetting what. And inclusion. So I thought about those, and I thought particularly about efficiency because I think the other ones like safety, like sure, all the rides are safe.
Yep.
Courtesy, yeah, you're courteous. There's a level of courtesy at all the rides, but I think efficiency is one. It was weighted low in my rankings, but was part of it. And then I thought about just what makes Disney attractions. What makes them so special? One, I think, is a category I called storytelling slash immersiveness. Okay. How much and to what degree does this pull you into something, a story, whatever? Another category I called technology slash innovation. So, how much new technology? How cool is this ride now? How much, maybe even cool was it in its time, or how much does it hold up? Maybe if it's an old ride, but the technology in it is still delivering, great experience that could rank highly. Whereas other rides you could sort of find at any theme park tech wise, right? So that would rank lower. And then the third category there was nostalgia. And this is a little bit of a subjective one. I try to be objective about it, but it's nostalgia not just for, older rides at Disney. Certainly did better on this one, but also something that delivers a level of nostalgia, familiarity, to you that could be a newer ride, but that still delivers that level of like nostalgia. So I weighted those, I think, equally, those three, more than the efficiency thing. And then my last thing, and this I weighted the highest of any category. I'm actually very curious, Mike, to hear what you think about this one in particular, but also the whole thing. So the last thing was the average wait time, and I ranked this on a
Ooh.
level from 1 to 6. Basically, if
Okay.
it's over an hour wait, usually then I ranked it a 6, and then kind of went down from there. And that to me was the objective. Like, what do the people say? This is like the vote. The voters. What do the voters say is the best ride? And it's the ride
That's
that
right.
has the longest wait. And then that's where I got my score. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike?
I like that, and I think that's right. I think if you're thinking about rides that are the most popular, those are the ones that are going to have that average wait time that's up there, at least in the current day and age, right? Like, what did you use for your stats for average wait time? Did you find a?
It's a great question where I got this data. I got it from thrilldata.com.
All right, let's hear what you got.
Here we go. Number 10 on my list, Tron Light Cycle Run. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
In terms of average wait time, it was a 6 out of 6. It's
Yep.
definitely one of the longest waits in all of Disney World. It didn't deliver on nostalgia, but I think Tron really delivers a lot on the storytelling immersiveness, from the queue to the position that you're riding in. You feel like you're part
Yep.
of it, to the tech innovation, the like, again, the ride vehicle, everything. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike? Does
I
that sound right to you?
so Tron is awesome. Great ride, and yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way to describe it in terms of the immersiveness and the storytelling, right? Because you go in and you're like ushered into the room with the like screen on the wall, and if you've never been there, it like that's the first surprise is the
Yes.
you think you're just looking at a TV screen on the wall, and then it goes clear and you can see people launching on their light cycle, so you're like immediately the adrenaline's up and you're fired up. So
Yes.
like they get you into it with a bang. And then just the cue in terms of like walking through and kind of seeing some of the stuff, the lights, the sound, the music. It's very Tron esque. If you've seen the movie, not the original Jeff Bridges Tron from the 80s, but more the Tron Legacy,
Yeah.
which you get like the Daft Punk soundtrack, so you get the deep Daft Punk beats and all that stuff. If you're kind of like a Tron nerd, it's super cool because you like feel like you're in it. So I think they did a really good job of creating the world, and then just the look and feel of everything as you're going in and getting ready to get on the ride. But yeah,
Yeah, and you're talking about the fact that it is sort of true to the movie and you feel like you're in it. That one, maybe I should have factored in even more. This did not score high on the nostalgia, which is
yeah,
kind of what I'm trying to capture with what you're saying. So, maybe that should have been higher, but
yeah.
right now that is number 10. So, in your
Okay,
mind,
let's
Mike,
go.
Tron, do you think there's 9 objectively rides, shows, attractions at Disney World that are better than Tron?
I think once you factor in things like nostalgia and you factor in some of the world building in a lot of the other rides, I think there probably is. If we're talking all the parks,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, Tron's so new that I think that nostalgia factor comes with time too, right? Like some of the
Yeah.
nostalgia that I'm thinking of is like rides I went on as a kid or things I remember from childhood, rather than like this brings me back to the movie. So like that's how I would have kind of factored in nostalgia. So that one is like definitely a newer on the nostalgia spectrum. So I could see that. And the other piece of that, so maybe I'm getting ahead of you, but I feel like on a lot of rides, the nostalgia factor has evolved over time, where they've made changes. And I might be stealing one of your later picks, but like Pirates of the Caribbean, like they added in Jack
Right.
Sparrow, right? So like
Yeah,
there's an
right.
animatronic Jack Sparrow. That's a newer movie from the original ride, but it brings back the feeling and the nostalgia. So like it makes it feel like it was part of the thing from the whole time. So I mean, I'm interested to hear your picks. If we're just talking about like pure thrills, I would put Tron up there higher. But there's definitely a lot of pure Disney rides that I could put in the mix and get to a 10 spot. So I think that's reasonable.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I will say I was a little bit surprised to see it at 10. I thought it'd be a little bit higher. So, yeah, but I think as we go on, we'll see. We'll see how much you think it continues to make sense. So, let's go to number 9. All right.
Let's go.
Number 9, Happily Ever After, the nighttime fireworks show in Magic Kingdom. So a little bit on this. The one thing here with the wait time is thrown off here. And
Yeah.
so for shows, I tried to do a proxy of basically like how early do you have to get there
Okay.
to get a
Yep.
good spot,
Yep.
and like how big is the capacity. So this one scored very high in that, and that you do really have to get to Main Street if you want to see the projections on the castle. You have to get there early, so that
Yep.
ranked high on the average wait time. And I think it across the board it was good scores for everything. So so that
Yeah.
ended up at number 9. What do you think about that?
I like that. And if you've seen the show, there's so much stuff in it that packs in, the Disney. I bet you. So I'm guessing your nostalgia score there is very high,
Yes.
um, because of like you mentioned, the projections on the castle. I think that's like what makes the show. I don't know what the technology is, it's LEDs or if it's like projections but the way they make the castle, like it doesn't look like a castle when they're doing some of the graphics on the castle. So they've done a tremendous job with that technology. So that I think that's probably nostalgia and technology that would factor into the score of the show. And it's just the classic. You go to Disney and you see the fireworks, right? So it's like
Yeah.
brings back the memories for everybody.
Yeah, that nostalgia one was basically as high as it could be on my scale. So,
Yep.
yeah, that one I think is what kind of put this one over the top into that top 10. So, yeah,
Nice.
okay.
Let's go. Let's keep rolling. So far, I'm with you. I
All right.
think, but I'll be interested to see how it shakes out at the higher rankings because I don't know what's coming. So
I think there's some that in this top 10 that might
that I
shock
might
you. In
get
fact,
riled
this
up
next
about.
one, I don't know what you think about this. I'm excited to
Okay.
see. So, number 8, okay? One of the biggest surprises for me to
Okay.
get in the top 10. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Ooh. Let me hear your points
Yeah.
because I love this ride.
Yeah.
It's not the like biggest thrill ride, but it's fun. It's so much fun, and typically like the wait time's not all that bad. But I think that's because of the efficiency and the way they've got it
Yeah.
set up. And I think having Rise of the Resistance in the same area draws a lot of attention, so it like
Yeah.
pulls that wait time down. But yeah, let me hear where you rank this in the different categories.
Yeah, so this one had a higher average wait time than I anticipated. And we've actually talked about it that it's usually faster than what the actual wait time is.
Yeah,
So in some way, I'm going by posted wait times. I didn't even
right.
factor in like, oh, it's actually usually less than this. But
Yep.
it was like an average 40-minute wait.
Okay.
And that put it on par with a lot of the other, like, not the top level rides, but a lot of those,
Right.
others. So that was a surprise. The thing that also put this really high was the nostalgia. So despite
Yeah,
this being a new ride, relatively, right, maybe 5, 6 years old, whatever,
that's right.
you're in the Millennium Falcon. I mean,
And it's classic. It's a ship
yes,
everybody knows, the Millennium Falcon. Like even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you know that that's Han Solo and Chewbacca's ship, right? Like
yes,
so yeah, so I co-sign that nostalgia score for sure.
yes. And I was like, oh, it's a new ride, but I was like, you know what? It has to be high on that nostalgia because they created that environment.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I think, and with the storytelling immersiveness, I mean, you're in the story. You are part of it, right? You're
That's
driving the
right.
ship, right? Whatever.
Yep.
So
The setup for that one is really good too, right? Like
yes,
they do a really good job of the setup and the way they load the ride. And I've seen some things like behind the scenes on how they do it. It's kind of like a
mm,
rotating thing. So they have
yes,
many different pods that you can go into. And the way they load you, you kind of like snake around some hallways. You don't necessarily like realize that they're like putting you into like different areas. So it feels
yes.
like you actually are getting on the Millennium Falcon and loading into the cockpit.
It truly does. It's quite an experience to be in there. Like, oh my god, I'm like in this. And I think even for Disney World, I think Disney almost outdid themselves just for that piece of it. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I think the ride itself, I enjoy the ride. It is not in my top 10 favorites for sure. It's a
Yeah.
ride that I love, but
Yep.
I doubt it would make my top 10. But I think objectively speaking, you're going to Disney World. This is a top level ride and experience. So
Yeah. And if you're going to Hollywood Studios down to Batu to the Star Wars area, the first thing you're doing is taking a picture with the full size Millennium Falcon, right? Like
yes,
that is the character, right? The Millennium
yes,
Falcon is the character.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
It's a character in itself, so it's hard to like discount that. Even though, yeah, like you said, it's not the like biggest thrill ride, but it's definitely got that nostalgia factor.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Smuggler's Run number 8 beat out Tron. Oh my god. That surprised me. That
Yeah,
surprised me.
well, this is like a interesting ranking style. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think I
Yeah.
like this.
No,
So
this is
let's keep
good.
going. Let's see what you got next.
All right, here we go. Number 7. Seven Dwarves Mine Train. Okay. What put this one so high was the wait time. So it is
Yes.
one of the highest waits. It was a 6 out of 6 on that scale. When I was going through this one, I think the other thing that put it in this spot was that storytelling immersiveness because of the part where you're in the mine, right, with the dwarves
Hmm.
in there, which I love that part. I think this ride, I don't want to say it's underrated because it's truly one of the most popular rides at Disney World. I think this is a ride that Disney fans have come to not like as much. And I do love this ride, though. It is actually one of my favorite rides. That experience of it's a dark ride with a roller coaster, it's kind of great for all ages. And it
Yep.
has the Snow White nostalgia aspect. So yeah, that's where it landed, number 7. What do you like
Nice.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
Yes. So, like I've told you this before, we weren't like because we did annual pass. We
Yeah.
were there every couple, weeks or so. Really, like it turned out we went like
Yeah.
every 3 weeks.
Oh my god.
Um,
Awesome.
which yeah, it was awesome. The thing was, we never wanted to like pay for the Genie Plus because we're like, oh, we'll
Right.
be back. Like we'll get on it next time when it's low. So like, I haven't been on it as much as I've been on some of the other rides. Like
Yeah.
I think I've only been on it once because I'm like, do I want to burn an hour here waiting or what? But definitely cool, like cool experience, cool look and feel. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
So
and I kind of like would expect that one to be up there just because it's so it's so popular.
totally. Yeah, no, I think that popularity and I mean it's a 10-year-old ride or something, but it's still,
Yeah.
way up there. So
Yep.
um yeah, so I think it deserved a spot. I wasn't surprised to see it here, but I don't know that everyone would have it in their top 10, but all right. Here we go. Number 6. This one was no surprise to me to see in here. Avatar Flight of Passage. And
Great
again,
ride.
what puts it up is the average wait time. It's sometimes the highest wait in Disney World. Often, like if a week goes by, it's the highest wait.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the technology/innovation score is about as high as it could be,
It's
and
so
then
cool.
the immersiveness is as high as it
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
I think efficiency is pretty good. I don't think it's down much. I think there's a lot of people going at once. I think that was
Right.
average. No big deal there. And nostalgia wasn't that high for this. I think for Avatar fans, it's a great experience. But I think for everyone else, that nostalgia part is not what makes them love it. It's really to me
Right.
that tech innovation and the storytelling immersiveness. But this is many people. I think I always say, like, all these episodes, like, there's a handful of rides, or in my opinion, if that's like one of your favorite rides, that's kind of a no brainer. I think Flight of Passage is definitely one of those. I don't know that it's my favorite. I don't think I would quite put it there, but it's up there. It's a quite a ride. So that's where that is, number 6.
It's a very cool ride, and I would argue like the immersiveness with every like even Navi River Journey, like
Yeah.
the immersiveness starts when you get into the Pandora section of the park because of how cool it is. Like
Yeah.
if you've seen the movie, like the floating mountains, like they make it look like those like the mountains are actually floating. I watched something
Insane.
like a documentary a while ago on how they did it, and it's like incredible engineering with all this steel girder underneath everything to hold it all together, and then it's like they built it out. But
Yeah.
it's like defying gravity, so it like looks like in the movie where the stuff's literally floating in air. So I would argue like some of that immersiveness starts before you even get to the ride. And then it's just so cool. Like the technology is awesome. The first time I wrote it, I described it as like it's Soren plus
Mm-hmm.
Tron like mixed
Mm-hmm.
together because you're like
Yeah.
you're on the like
Right.
the Tron like setup, but then it's like a soaring type ride, but then you also get like drops and thrills
Yes.
and like the smells, the water. It's so cool. So yeah, totally. that does not surprise me that you got that up there in the rankings.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even some people might say this is too low at number 6. All right.
Okay.
So we're getting to our top 5 here.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm interested to see if you got any sleepers in here in the top 5.
I wonder what you'll think. I don't know. Here, yeah, I'm excited to see. All right, here we go. Number 5. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
Classic.
It's got to be, right?
That is, yes.
I honestly went into this list thinking this would come out as number 1. I don't know. Just when I looked at the categories, I'm like, what's going to beat this? I think the reason it's not number 1 is honestly the wait time is not quite as high as these others, especially with everything in Hollywood studios. It's still a good wait, but
it's kind of like tucked in around the corner, like on the whole other side. You've got Toy Story area, then you've got the Galaxy's Edge area, like on the complete other side of the park, and then down Hollywood Boulevard, you've got like the Tower of Terror. So, and Rock and Roller Coasters over there too, I guess. And then even like, I'm probably stealing your thunder here. Nostalgia, you see it from like the road, like you could see it down the road, and you're like, "What is that? What is that? The tallest thing around?" It's like, "Oh, that's Tower of Terror," and then you like hear the screams when you're walking around.
My God.
Like,
yes,
I feel like they've got like projections on there to make it louder. It's just,
I think so.
They definitely played it up really well. So like you can hear people screaming from across the park on the way down on the Tower of Terror.
Yes, you hear the terror. Yeah.
Yes.
And this one scored very high on nostalgia, and this was a different kind of nostalgia. I was talking about, with like Star Wars, it's because, it's people associate with Star Wars, with Avatar, to the extent it has any nostalgia. It's people who are fans of Avatar. Tower of Terror, if you're a fan of, I guess, the Twilight Zone, okay, there's some level of nostalgia, but it's nostalgia for Disney World, and it's everything you just said, Mike. You hear the people. It's like the park icon of Hollywood studios. It's been around for 25 plus years, whatever it is. So, it's become quintessential Disney World, so that is where I think it beats out Avatar in nostalgia. And then everything else, I mean, in terms of tech / innovation, again, it opened in, I think, 1998. The technology that goes into that ride is still, and the innovation, the fact that you go like forward and back in an elevator, everything that goes into it, the randomized like dropping is just so unique and amazing, innovative, for a theme park ride.
The randomized drop, definitely some cool stuff there that is still, you could ride it 100 times and it's still like the same thrill, right?
Yes. Absolutely. It is quite a unique ride in every way, and I think it'll always be one of those rides. It's a
classic. That is my wife's favorite ride.
Yeah.
And so I love it as well, but I end up being the babysitter. Yeah. I'm like, when do I get a turn?
You got to rider switch that thing.
I know. Yeah. So we're gonna do that. I definitely have to get on it more. And then just a little shout out to Disneyland. I don't know what the name of it is, but
it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. What is it?
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know what they call it, but they basically transformed the Disneyland version of Tower of Terror into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Yes.
And instead of making it scary, it's like fun and exciting and very Guardians-esque with the music and the same drops. It's the same ride. The setup's different and everything. So it's like so interesting when you've been on Tower of Terror to then go ride that at Disneyland, and like you're in the ride, but they've made it like it feels completely different. So yeah, I just want to give a little shout out to Disneyland.
Yeah,
we're world people, but it's gotta give the land some love.
We shouted out on a previous episode the reviews that we've taken, and I said I thought one was my cousin, and it turns out it was. Shout out to my cousin Melanie, who's a huge Disney fan, and lives. She goes to both, and I think she goes to Disneyland maybe even more, and she says that the Guardians that version in Disneyland is better than Tower of Terror, which makes me just want to go on even more and see Mission Breakout.
Mission Breakout.
Is that what it is?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, Mission Breakout. Yeah.
Whatever it is, you don't know because it's still Tower of Terror, but they like transformed it into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. So
Yes.
it's you can still see it from a mile away, and it's you still hear the screams, but you get the little Guardians, like the classic '80s tunes, the music, the excitement, the shenanigans of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's very fun. I'm a sucker for the classics, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's better, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's yeah. I can't wait. I'm trying. We're gonna see. I'm gonna try to get over to Disneyland. During their 70th anniversary here this year. We'll see. I've never
Ooh,
been. I mean,
yeah.
I'm dying to go. So, all right. So that's our number 5, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. So we're in the top 4 here. This one might have been the most surprising one to
All
me,
right.
where it landed on the list. Okay.
Am I going to get fired up on this one?
You might. You might.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I think at the end you're going to be fired up by things that didn't make it, and you're going to question the criteria. That's my prediction, and we're here at number 5. I'm saying that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So I'll reserve my condemnation for later, but I've already got some opinions, but I do understand, the objective versus subjective criteria here. So I appreciate it. So I'm very interested in hearing what we've got coming up next at number 4.
And this one would definitely, I love this ride. I love it. In some ways, I think it's almost underrated, but it would definitely not be in my top 4 attractions at Disney World. It'd probably be my top 10, but Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Does that shock you?
No, actually,
Okay.
This is one of the ones I was going to throw in there.
Okay.
I really liked this ride. I really liked it.
Yes.
It was just fun, and it's the driverless, trackless, whatever they call it, technology, which I bet like has to factor into the score there. And it's like all ages. My 3-year-old was like super pumped. He didn't know what to expect, and then he was like getting a big kick out of it when you go off the rails, and it's fun.
Right, totally. One thing I thought about adding as a criterion and ended up not was because one of those keys is inclusion. And I thought, should I put inclusion and things like height restrictions would make it go down? I didn't end up doing that because I was like, that's kind of, I don't know. I didn't think that was really part of the spirit of this, but it's missing from something like this the fact that it's kind of for all ages, whereas Tower of Terror, kids of a certain age are going to be too scared and whatever. So, but anyway, it did.
So this is higher.
But it's higher anyway.
This is higher than I would expect it, but I do think you have to have it in there, and it's classic. It's Mickey and Minnie, right? No. And then you get Goofy and the Goofy and the gang, and it makes it fun.
Absolutely. And honestly, the reason it beat Tower of Terror, the average wait time is like 5 minutes longer according to this website. So that's really it. But it tied in terms of, again, like nostalgia. Mickey, you almost can't beat that. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, whatever. Tech innovation, the trackless. Storytelling, I mean, you are in a Disney cartoon. I mean, it's hard to top that. So it just checks every box for the max. So that's it. That's number 4. All right.
Nice. Number
3. This one would be polarizing. I wasn't actually that shocked to see it this high, but I don't know. You might not like this, or you might. I don't know. Okay, ready? Number 3. Phantasmic.
Love it. I love Phantasmic. It's awesome. So cool.
You're happy with that?
Yeah. I think you gotta have Phantasmic up there. It's awesome. It's so much fun.
I think this one was tough to gauge the average weight, but ultimately I think in normal seasons, you're trying to get to, even if there's 2 shows, you're trying to get to the first showing. You do have to get there early in order to get a good seat. But the thing that actually, like, storytelling immersiveness, come on. Storytelling is off the charts. Tech innovation, I mean, it was like the first show to do so many things. Nostalgia, you have the boat with 1,000 Disney characters on it. I mean, like you cannot beat that. And the thing that actually put this, I think, slightly ahead of those rides we've just talked about is that efficiency. And the reason I put it there is just there's a huge purpose-built stadium, right. For this show. And I thought of efficiency too as like you're seeing 1,000 Disney characters and having this like ultimate Disney experience all in one. Oftentimes it's after the park has closed. Like you can get
Yeah.
this after you can get rides. When I thought efficiency, I'm like, Fantasmic, you want to like mainline, Disney.
Yeah.
Fantasmic is the way to do it. So
Yep.
that's what got me. That's why it turned out to be number 3.
It's information overload
Yes.
of Disney, right? Or it's analysis paralysis by Disney character,
Yes.
right?
Right. Exactly.
uh,
Exactly.
and so we talked about this, I think, on one of the other ones. Like what I really want to do is the dinner and a show package
Yeah.
where you get you kind of get you ushered into the upfront spot, or what are the reserve spots.
Yes.
So when we do our planning, that's something I absolutely want to take advantage of with reservations if I can. If you and your family want to enjoy Fantasmic and dinner, call Steve, your travel agent Steve, at justaddmagictravel.com,
Oh my
and
God.
he will hook you up with the dinner and a show reservation to see Fantasmic. And
That's
you'll see
right.
my guy, Sorcerer Mickey, right on
Yes.
top, running the show.
The best. He's the best in the biz. All right. We're in our top 2. I think now is maybe a good time to just run through where we were, just really quickly.
Yeah,
So
let's go. Let's hear it.
Number 10, Tron Light Cycle Run. Number 9, Happily Ever After, Magic Kingdom Fireworks. 8, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. 7 is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. 6, Avatar Flight of Passage. 5, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. 4, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And 3, Fantasmic. We only have 2 left.
I feel like we need to do like the top 50 here.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Just doing 10. My mind is racing on what the last 2 here could be, because there's so many options.
It's crazy. There's so many. I thought, oh, that's got to be top 10. That's got to be top 10. I probably thought that about 25 things. So, so that's where we are. So we only have 2 things left. So number 2.
Drum roll.
Here we go. Right. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Yep.
Okay.
It's got it. Yeah. This has got to be. This would have been in my top, right? Even in the subjective rankings, this is one of my favorite rides, if not my favorite ride. I think I picked this as my favorite ride.
I think you did, yeah. I think subjectively, if you ask people, this might be like the most popular favorite ride right now at Disney World.
Yeah.
People are just, and I can't argue with that. We'll put this over the top. I think it is the wait time. Again, one of the highest waits in Disney World, period. Sometimes the highest. And I think it's the tech innovation is even a step higher than these other ones we've talked about. And I think the storytelling immersiveness is at least on par, if not better, than basically anything we've talked about.
Yeah.
The nostalgia, I mean, it's not as high as it could be. Like I put like Mickey Minnie's is higher, Fantasmic is higher, but it still has that because of the songs and because of just the popularity of Marvel. It's the real people from those movies that are part of that ride. Like it's higher than maybe I would have expected when I really sort of thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, it does deserve kind of a good rating for that. So that was number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
I totally agree. There's like one point that bugged me about how slow it was between when you go from like the pre-show to the boarding process. I don't know if you experienced this, but there was like, it's like something happens in the pre-show. I won't spoil it. Something happens in the pre-show, and then they're like, quick, get to the, car or whatever, like the ship. And then you go into a different area, and then like we got like stuck in this hallway for like 10 minutes waiting to get to the boarding area. And I think that's just because there's so many people and they're trying to push it through. I guarantee you on a less wait day or over time as the queues get a little bit lower, this will tighten up. But that part bugged me because it was like they're trying to create this urgency, and then all of a sudden you're like back in line again.
Interesting.
Which bugged me a little bit.
Takes you out of the moment a little bit, right?
Yeah.
As you say, creating the urgency. Yeah. Maybe that should have dinged its efficiency. So had it gone down in efficiency, it might have actually lost out to Fantasmic.
So other than that part, which I really do think is just is just because it's so busy and popular. Like I'm convinced that normally they've timed it out because they're so good at like timing with that kind of stuff and boarding and getting things on. So I think maybe that's just them working out some of the kinks with like the amount of people and popularity. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's still a fantastic ride. It's an amazing ride.
Yeah.
So I don't want to derail the rankings. I would have it in my top two, three, two, one
Yeah.
if I did these rankings as well. So I think no shame there, but just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, and again, I was definitely not surprised to see it this high. I thought it would be right around here. So that's number 2. All right,
Okay,
here we go.
we're
So
down to the
number
final.
1, and this ride, average wait time, highest ranking, nostalgia highest ranking, tech innovation highest ranking, storytelling / immersiveness highest ranking, efficiency lowest ranking, and yet it's still won. And the reason it's low is because it's down all the time. And the number 1, can you guess what it is?
I know exactly what it is.
You say it.
Rise of the Resistance.
It's Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance.
It is, and it's
I'll give you the floor, Mike. What can you say about Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance?
I think I went on a little like tirade about this when we did the Galaxy's Edge episode.
Yeah.
About how amazing and immersive and fantastic this ride was, and and now like the being down a lot thing totally makes sense, but like it's such a long wait when it's up that like it being down doesn't really. It actually kind of helped me get on it a couple times because it was down, and then if you're like in the vicinity and you see the number pop back up, the wait time pop back up, if you're on the app at just the right time, you can actually like get right on and kind of run up to the front. So this has actually helped me before. But I think, again, because of, and I'm not going to discount them because the technology is so novel and amazing that I would totally understand that they're working the kinks out with some of it. But I think I said this when we did the Galaxy's Edge episode. It's like you're in Star Wars. What is that like AI term, like the uncanny valley, where you can kind of like tell you're in? This is not that. Like this is like very much like you're in a Star Wars ship. I'm not going to spoil it because this is a ride where I don't want to spoil it. You have to experience it. But I think I said this about like the laser blast when you're watching Star Wars and you see like the laser fly off and it makes this trail and it's a line. And like you're like, lasers don't do that. Well, they figured out how to do that. Like they did that. Like you're it's like doesn't make sense with your eyes because you've never seen anything like that before. So it's like so new to your brain that you're like, I'm in the Star Wars movie. Like I'm in the movie. Right. So yeah, I mean this has to be number 1, even though like you said there is some downtime. But everything else is like highest ranking, and I think they were going for that too. Like they were like, we're gonna blow it out in immersiveness, we're gonna blow it out in technology, we're gonna blow it out in all these categories. I think they were shooting for that when they built this ride and when they had this concept because it's so well done. This would be my number 1 in any ranking of the sort.
Absolutely, it's I think the most ambitious thing that Disney's done, and
definitely.
In the running forever, right? You look at like the Imagineering story, that documentary I think we mentioned, and like they had that ambition back when they did Pirates of the Caribbean. Like we're gonna make all of these animatronic characters. It's all gonna work together. It's gonna be this giant story, and it blew people's minds at the time.
Right.
That is this now. Like you said, like
that's a great way.
We're putting it all on the line, and we're blowing it out for this ride, and they really did it. And again, with nostalgia. If they had done this with something in Avatar, right, that had been quite this ambitious, it wouldn't have had that nostalgia element the same as Star Wars, right? Star Wars is just, it's on another level of just familiarity for people. I think most people who go to Disney World have that frame of reference versus other things. So, yeah, Rise of the Resistance. No surprise for me that ended up number 1.
No surprise. Yeah, so, that's what I would have had pegged for number 1. For these rankings when you first told me earlier. So I think totally makes sense.
Yeah. So that's it. So Mike, give me your reactions and I can give some too after, but what's surprised you that's not on here?
I think it makes a lot of sense. There's definitely other things that maybe are, more well known or classic rides that you could probably talk about in here. There's ones that have changed. Like I'm thinking of like Splash Mountain going to Tiana's, like
Yeah.
that. I feel like maybe in a couple years that one sneaks into the top five, right? Because it just has to get a lot more traction with people riding. It's so new, and
Yes.
it's it's got the same feel as Splash Mountain, but it's got this a new great story around it. So it's like people need to just get in there and like experience it. And I think then you would get those rankings up there. I think there's going to be a lot of rides that'll be that same type of thing. I'm a little surprised that something like a Remy's didn't make it into the mix. Pirates or Jungle Cruise, those are definitely high in the nostalgia factor, but not on the technology side. So that makes sense that maybe they didn't sneak into the top 10. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, the rankings based on the factors that you described, I think makes a lot of sense.
So it's funny. You just mentioned what our number 11 and 12 on this, which are Remy's and Tiana's
Yes.
on this list. I don't know that I was necessarily that shocked that neither of those made it. Maybe Remy just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of technology. I thought, oh, that might be there. But the ones that I was actually surprised. So, and you just said it. None of the like Magic Kingdom classic Pirates, Jungle Cruise, and I actually thought Haunted Mansion,
Oh,
which
yes.
is not one of my. I do like Haunted Mansion. It's not one of my favorites, but I thought, oh,
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion is going to be here, and you know what it was? It was the wait time. It is a
Yeah.
decent wait, but nowhere near some of these others. And going through this and seeing what was left off. I mean, I think the list that top 10 ended up being pretty good, but I think maybe I overweighted WEIGHT the weight to WAIT. I think I gave a little bit too much credence to, like, somebody would say, how could you have Smuggler's Run over Haunted Mansion? And maybe in 5 years, Smuggler's Run won't have a longer wait, than Haunted
Yeah.
Mansion, and that would kind of leapfrog it.
Right.
So, I mean, a
Yeah.
couple others, like one that I really thought would be on there because I think it's one of the best rides. Like I would have said, oh, and it's one of my favorite. Oh, objectively, one of the best rides is Expedition Everest.
Yeah. It's
I
another
think
one.
the problem there was the nostalgia factor wasn't high. The other thing too is like the Yeti animatronic doesn't work, and so the technology aspect, like that was a really cool thing when it opened, and now that
Yep.
that's kind of gone, it's like the technology aspect isn't really that high. So that wasn't actually even that close. It was like 20 something on the list.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so anyway, those were some that surprised me.
I'm gonna throw a goofball at you right
Oh
now.
please.
Give me three rides
Oh
that would not make it into like generalized rankings, but that you enjoy. That
yeah,
are not
wow.
highly sought after, that are not super popular, but are ones that like you got to do it, you got to hit it. I've got three in mind, so I want to hear yours.
Okay. I'm gonna do three, and I will say like these are subjective. I'm not saying these
Yes,
belonged in this top 10 at all.
totally subjective. What
Yes.
does Steve like to do that's not
Yes.
popular or not top rides?
Living with the Land in Epcot.
Yes. Oh man, you
I
stole one of
love
mine.
that ride.
You
Uh,
stole one of mine. All right, I'm gonna add a different one to my
I'm
top
gonna let
my
you
three.
go then because
No,
you
no,
might
no.
steal
Go,
one
go,
of
go.
mine.
No, I want to hear your three. I want to
All
hear
right.
your three, and then I'll...
Living with the Land for sure. I have to say this is one like going with my daughter that she just loves, and it's become one that I like can't miss. And it's gonna sound so weird in the Magic Kingdom. It's the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I
Yeah.
don't know. That ride
No,
just gets
that
me. It's so
does not.
simple, but
Yeah,
yeah.
not surprise me at all. My youngest son loves that ride too. So, totally. That's not one of my three, but it is. I totally get that pick.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's awesome. And then the other one I'll say this is one where like if I didn't do this, I didn't go to Disney. It's the Carousel of Progress. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just love it. I just love
it's
it.
great.
It's and objectively it's not great, but I just love it.
But if you're, if you're an aficionado of the pod and of Disney
Yes.
World, that's our namesake, the
That's
Great
who
Big
we
Beautiful
are.
Dads.
We're the
Great
great
Big
big
Beautiful
beautiful
Tomorrow.
dads. That's right.
That's right. So,
All right. So living
all
with the
right,
land is one of yours.
it was, but I'm gonna sub it out.
All
I'm gonna
right. All
sub it
right.
out. All right, this one, I don't know how popular this is with the general population, but Journey into Imagination with Figment is
Okay,
like
yeah.
one of my favorites all
I love
time.
it.
It's just a funny ride that I love to go on, and I get a chuckle out of Figment every time hits you with the skunk,
With the
the
fart. Yeah.
smell. Yeah, it gets you. And now my kids love that ride too. So that's one of them. My other is, and I've talked about this, Enchanted Tiki Room. I
Yeah.
think that might be. I think people might like a lot more people like Enchanted Tiki Room than I'm thinking of, but it's not one that's going to get the glitz and glam, but it's like classic and it's fun and good music. This is the third one here is tough because I was thinking with the land, and I love living with the land. This is kind of cheating because I think a lot of people love this ride, but the safari ride
Yeah.
at Animal Kingdom, and it's not a ride. It's like it's an actual safari. So I
Right.
think that I'll sub that in for Living with the Land because it's kind of got the same vibe where it's like a learning experience. You get to see some cool stuff. So those are
That
my three.
I do love that one. That's a can't miss for me too. On in that one, I want to say it made a run at the top 10 on my list, which was
Ooh,
yeah, end up at
yeah,
like 15. Yeah, it's a fantastic ride. It really is.
it's really cool. Ooh, and actually, I'm gonna throw in a little sleeper in here, and I've mentioned this before. The Finding Nemo ride, not
Yeah.
for the ride
Right.
itself, because the ride itself, it's okay.
Yeah.
When you come out of the ride, you're in an aquarium that I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people know is there.
Yes.
So the sea actually has one of the largest aquariums, I think, in the United States. I think it's like the second largest aquarium in the United States. And
But I think it's Atlanta is number one. So
yes,
shout out to
yes,
Atlanta.
yeah. Which I've never been to the Atlanta
Me
Aquarium,
neither.
but
Yeah.
it's very impressive. We love to do the Coral Reef restaurant as well, so like I got to throw that in there. I should have picked that over Safari, man. Now I'm kind of bummed I didn't. We can cut it out. We'll cut that.
I'm the
Cut
editor
that.
here. I'm
Yeah.
gonna switch things around. Yeah.
Or you can just like dub over 3 to 4, and you can add
Yeah.
it. Pick your top 4. Just dub that in.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's my last one.
No,
All
that
right.
is good. That's a big time sleeper. The aquarium, like you could
Yes.
spend all day there. It's hard not to spend all day there.
Oh
Actually,
man, now I'm thinking of other ones that I want to throw in the mix, but I'm
right?
not. We'll save it for another pod.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone would disagree with this, but I actually do believe this. There's nothing that's like bad at Disney World.
Yeah,
Everything is
I
good.
agree.
Like there's nothing. I don't know. Even the least popular thing, like the Swiss Family Treehouse, we've even talked about it. I think it's probably like when you think of like what's the least popular, like the least trafficked thing at Disney World. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking of like the Three Caballeros, right?
it's a great ride.
It's never a wait, but it's like a fun little ride, and it's some of those. It's like the experience of the land or the world that they're in too,
Yeah.
especially in Epcot because you get the World Showcase. You're immersed in the Mexico Pyramid, which feels like you're like it could be the middle of the day, but it's like nighttime in Mexico when you go in there.
Amazing.
But yeah, there's a ton of those like under. That's like 0 minutes, right? You could go
Right.
0 minute rides and like come up with a good list.
You could. You would have a great day just going on those rides, honestly. So,
Yeah,
and then it just goes to show how awesome these top 10 and top 20 and
yeah,
top 50 whatever rides and
yep,
experiences at Disney are. So that's it. That's my top 10 objective. So people,
nice.
please everybody sound off, in the comments. I think there are comments. And on my social medias, Steve's _ just add magic on TikTok, Steve _ just add magic travel on Instagram. Let me know what you think. I mean, is this criteria the right thing? Did I miss something? Did I weight things the wrong way? This list definitely skewed newer, and I think that's definitely a
Yep.
function of wait time, right? Wait time. You're gonna have longer waits for
Yeah.
the rides. Like I think that's probably something that would be an easy criticism of this list. But
Yes.
um,
And if you are going to criticize the list and you don't agree with these rankings, then call my friend Steve
that's right.
at Just Add Magic Travel, book your trip, and prove us wrong.
That's right. Prove us wrong. That's it. That's all you got to do. Oh my God. This is checks in the mail, Mike. This is amazing.
Somebody's got to pay the bills around here.
Exactly. All right, Mike. And yes, Steve at justaddmagictravel.com. Get in touch. It's free trip planning. I mean, I get a commission from Disney whenever you travel if I help you. So, it's a win-win there. So, Mike, any last words on our objective top 10 before we sign off for now?
No, it's always fun chopping it up and talking Disney. So I enjoyed this one because this was, like you said, this was a little bit of a goofball for me. I came in with zero prep, but I like talking off the cuff on Disney rides. So appreciated that and the level of detail you went through with the ranking system. So I like it. I'll have to come up with my own. Maybe we'll do it from the reverse angle and figure out some other stuff. But I liked it.
I would love for you to dig into this and let's do another episode where you come at this and I'm sure it would be totally different. So
maybe we'll do a food ranking.
Objective. That's a lot harder.
That's a lot harder.
What I did, but
anyone
could do it.
Go and try all the different restaurants that I haven't been to. So it's a good excuse.
Expense it to the podcast.
I have to go to these 5 food stands today. It's got to be done.
Yeah, you would never come back. You would be just you'd be lost the time,
lost forever. Oh man.
Oh, good.
All right, it's been fun.
This is great. All right, peace out. Shout out to Disney World.